At some stage during our lives, many of us think about owning our own business. But with so many new businesses failing in the first year, the attraction of buying into an established franchise is attractive. It's a $128 billion industry, and for many, it's a nightmare. Deliberately broken and sent to the wall so that franchisors can sell the business all over again for another profit. Letitia Gibson investigates.
They sell you a dream that you'll go in, they'll give you all the support. I bought into the dream, but it wasn't what I was expecting at all.
You lose everything, you get nothing back.
We believe that hundreds of millions of dollars are being stolen from franchisees.
Do franchisors deliberately recruit people to see them fail? No way.
It's meant to be the low-risk way of having your own business, investing in someone else's established success story by buying an exclusive territory. But for some, it's a fast track to financial ruin.
We are nearly $1.4 million in debt, but when we went into this, we were, nearly $2 million worth of assets before we even met Baker's Delight. So how does this happen?
For more than 2 years, Deanne DeLue and her husband Mark have been embroiled in a David and Goliath battle with the world's largest bakery franchise, Baker's Delight.
The financial difficulties started when I bought the Shellharbour store. The store was not profitable, but Baker's Delight promised a lot of support, additional marketing support, and that my business consultant would work very closely with me to turn this store around to reach its full potential.
But it never did. It never even got close. Despite running 2 profitable stores, less than 1 year after purchasing the third, Deanne's agreements for all 3 were terminated.
To me, it showed that the conduct was intentional. They were waiting for Shellharbour to drag my other 2 stores and myself down.
Convinced the downfall of her stores was not her fault, Deanne pushed on, trying numerous avenues to have her case heard, all to no avail, until she approached her Member of Parliament, Joanna Gash.
The issue concerns the trade practices of a well-known franchisor in Australia, Baker's Delight.
Since then, Mrs Gash has had 13 other Baker Delight franchisees call her begging for her help. Only now has the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission launched an investigation.
It is a case of the smaller operator up against the very large business as such. How long can they last? I want to make sure that this is resolved and resolved quickly.
It's just a horrible feeling to feel like they've done this to you.
The biggest catch cry is be your own boss.
It's completely misleading. And
other franchises are also under the spotlight. Between them, these 5 people claim to have lost $180,000 on James Home Services franchises. They allege that the middleman who sold the franchises engaged in providing inaccurate disclosures, promised unachievable income targets and reduced sales regions.
The first month I didn't get a cent.
When it is understood that the franchise is in trouble, it is allowed to die.
John Farrell from the National Federation of Independent Business believes this is an epidemic, that up to 1 in 5 franchisees are in some kind of trouble.
This is not conspiracy theory, it's common sense that a certain number will be encouraged to go broke.
Realistically though, why would a franchisor deliberately sabotage his own product?
Well, it's just a matter of money. As you can see, by simply recycling or churning 10% of his franchises, he will double his profit.
The theory on how churning works is simple. A franchisor creates financial hardship to a point where the franchisee is forced into liquidation. It then takes back the goods and the business, on-sells it, and in the process can double its money.
I don't think you can ever say that it's all one party's fault or all the other party's fault.
Baker's Delight Chief Financial Officer Richard Taylor denies any unconscionable conduct and was quick to pass judgment on failed stores.
In most situations we find that a franchisee failure is due to the failure of the franchisee to be either to manage their financial affairs or to comply with the franchise agreement.
Churning is a term, I think, used by uneducated people who've got no idea about the franchising sector.
Surprisingly, the industry peak body, the Franchise Council of Australia, represents both sides of the fence, the franchisor and the franchisee. Its CEO, Richard Evans, says there is no problem, despite 1 in 3 franchisors being involved in substantial disputes. He says it's up to the investors to do their own homework and enter at their own risk.
They get over 250 disclosure items about the company they're about to enter. Someone going into a company must be fully aware of the risk involved.
That is absolute and utter rubbish.
John Farrell is outraged by the industry's denial and buck passing, claiming franchisees are sitting ducks.
Those items have got nothing to do with the franchisee. That's why the franchisee pays both franchise fees, royalties, and marketing fees, for heaven's sake.
The question here is, are the laws really protecting franchisees? Since changes made to the Trade Practices Act 9 years ago, the ACCC has made 15 prosecutions. The federal government is currently reviewing and making changes to the Code of Conduct. But John Farrell isn't content in stopping there. He's looking at avenues for class action for both Deanne DeLue and 50 franchisees.
If you start fighting, they expect that it's not going to be long before you get tired or emotionally can't go on, or financially you can't go on.
And will you keep fighting?
Absolutely. All the way.
And the Franchisees Association, which has been close to dormant for a long time, has been reformed because of the volume of complaints. It's promising to investigate and pursue them. Our reporter Letitia Gibson, and there's more on our website.